He says, of whom the world was not worthy. In other words, these folks they gave their life to Christ, and they were sharing the good news that the world could be set free from bondage. And the world was doing this to them. And God said, the world is not worthy of these people. Paul describes the Christian in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. He says this, he says, for we are unto God a sweet savor. And what he's saying is that we, the church, is unto the world a sweet fragrance of Christ. In them that are saved, listen to how he says this, in them that are saved, and in them that perish. The world is a sweet fragrance. The church is a sweet fragrance, he's saying, to the whole world. Church, our mission is to have those beautiful feet and to be that sweet smelling fragrance here in the world while we're here. Let's give you a quick story real quick on what he's talking about. In Rome, when they win a victory, they'd have a celebration. They'd have a parade. That was normal. Everyone done that. In the parade, they'd have some musicians. They'd have choirs that would be singing. They'd have their soldiers and their officials would parade down the street. But they would also take these incense and they would burn these fragrances on altars all throughout the city. And the city itself would have this aroma of this sweet smelling fragrance throughout the city. And the reason for that was this, is that so those who could not make the festivities, those who couldn't come and be a part of the parade and watch the things that were going on, they could hear it. And they could smell it. And they could understand that was because of the victory that had been won. And here's what Paul is trying to get across to us all. Is that, church, we are the overwhelming evidence that Christ is alive and has won the victory. It's the way that we present. It's the way we display purity. It's the way that we're kind to others. It's the way that we're truthful and we're honest in our dealings. It's the way that we're set apart and we're different than the evil side of the world. We're the kind side of the world. He says this, church, as you share the message, as you share the good news and folks look at you, let them see that kindness. Let them see that honesty. And let them know whether they're saved or whether they're lost. Let them smell that sweet fragrance of Jesus your Lord. That's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be that evidence in this world that Christ is alive. Now, guys, I've told people that before, and they always seem to come up with the same question. How do you do that? That's a great idea. It's just a wonderful idea to be that person, to go out and to be the one that has those feet that people like to hear you coming. Or it's nice to be I don't know about you, but man, I can smell something smells really sweet. I'll stand there for a few minutes. I don't want to go. We have an orange tree in the backyard, and man, when that thing's blooming, it smells so good, I'll walk back there and stand there for 15 minutes. I just like to be there and smell it. What about when people come into your life that just have a sweet spirit? I like being around those kind of people, don't you? I like to be one of those people. That's what we're supposed to be as the church. We say, well, how can we do that? Well, I'll just tell you this. It's impossible to be that person without Christ in your life. Maybe done a great job in Sunday school this morning. I like the part where he was talking about reconciling and forgiving. You cannot forgive people if you have Christ in your life. You'll never reconcile differences unless you have Christ in your life. You'll never make an effort to help someone come to Christ unless you have Christ in your life. You'll never understand the importance of Christ until you ask Christ to come into your life. I heard that forever and ever and ever. And I didn't purposely reject it, did not purposely ignore it. I just flat did not understand it. I had to ask Christ in my life before it became real. So I'm just going to close with this. If you want to be that person, then you've got to ask Christ to come into your life. If you need to do that today, we're going to have a couple of minutes. Debbie's going to come and sing. We're going to stand. And if you want to ask Christ to come into your life, let's do it today. Well, that part I know how to do. You just make your way to the front and we'll talk about it. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for our time today. Thank you for your word, Lord. Just thank you for speaking to our hearts. Thank you for speaking to our minds. Lord, I pray that if there's somebody in here today that's never asked Christ to be their Lord and their Savior, Lord, they're struggling with how to be the person that we're supposed to be. Lord, I pray that they'll bring it to the altar this morning, Lord, and they'll lay it at your feet so that you can answer that question. Lord, that you'll show them, Lord, that you'll speak to their hearts and their minds. Father, I just pray that we can make a difference here this morning in the life of just one person, Lord. Lord, we as a church, if we're not being what we're supposed to do, help us to be that person. Lord, we know the truth. We know Christ. We've received Christ. And Lord, just help us to be faithful to go and tell others. And Lord, to be a person that shows that victory in Christ as we live a life for you. Father, we thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. You guys will stand. Just have a couple moments of invitation, and then we'll be dismissed. Within the week, we've had 3. The world is not slowing down for us. We get things right before it's too late. I'm going to ask somebody that I never asked on a Sunday morning to pray. I'm going to ask Miss Elizabeth if you would close us this morning, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you